Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy C. Will back to you with another video, and we got a lot to talk about. We got CPUs, talk about Intel. Look, I've owned a lot of CPUs over the past couple of years, and Ryzen 5, Ryzen 9, 10th gen, Intel, 5000 series, Ryzen 7, 3600s. Actually, this one is actually still in here, believe it or not. Plan on using it for a streaming PC. Yeah, let's talk about CPUs. So, man, welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome, man. We do everything tech, all things tech, whatever it is, we like to do it. You're a returning viewer. I appreciate you the most because you keep everything going. So, as you can see here, we are on videocards.com. I am not going to bore you. There's been like 1,000 videos just talking about these actually, Alder late CPUs. My job here today is to actually just talk to you about whether or not is it worth building one. And yes, that's what we're going to talk about. Is it worth building actual Intel system right now, or are you thinking about upgrading, or do you, like myself, do you have a most recent CPU and motherboard and system and stuff like that? And so we're going to talk about the three different scenarios. The first scenario is if you were doing actual build right now, like if you said, hey, I want to go, this is Newegg, I want to pick up the 12900K. 12900K has a total of 16 cores. 8 cores are performance cores, 8 cores are efficiency cores. Windows 11 has a new scheduling system that allows you to, to be able to use the full functionality of this CPU. All of the Alder late CPUs, 12900K, 12700K, 12600K, so on and so forth. And like I said, you can actually go to, if you go to video cards, let me just see. Like if you go here and you click on where is it? The Intel 12th Gen Alder Late Roundup. They, what I like about this site is that they give you links to all of the media websites, all of the big names like Jay's 2 Cents, Linus Tech Tips, Non-Tech, Paul's Hardware, Puget Systems, Tom's Hardware, Tech Power Up. All these different places. Hopefully, plan on making this list one day. But these, all of the actual, the Bauer, these are all of the actual reviews. So you could be able to check to see the actual reviews on each one of these. But 12900K, that's what we're going to talk about, the top of the line. So they weren't playing. I hate to spoil it for you right now, but not only is the 12900K the fastest gaming CPU that you could get right now, even though it's by minimum performance gains over a 5950X, it's still the fastest when you look at the overall percentages. But really, that's not where the 12900K shines. It actually shines in productivity, believe it or not. This is not a full 16 core. And what I mean by that, all of the core, not all 16 cores are performance cores. Only 8 are performance cores. So 8 performance cores, 16 threads. And then you have 8 efficiency cores and 8 threads. So it has a total of 24 threads. And so what happens is that the IPC, the productivity, the single core, thread, it knocks out the competition. It really does. So you really see the biggest gain when doing productivity stuff, and that's anywhere from video editing to photo editing, and not everything, not 100%, but for the most part. Watch the reviews, watch the multiple reviews, and you'll see. So just long story short, it beats the 5950X, which is AMD's latest consumer CPU, top of the line CPU, which is 16 cores, 32 threads. It beats it in a lot of stuff, in productivity, including gaming. So the major percentages are more on the productivity side than it is for gaming. A lot of the reviews that you will see, the gaming that they do is at 1080p, because really that's how you test CPUs You test it at 1080p resolution because there is more CPU bound when it comes to 1080p resolution. But if you play at 1440p and you play at 4K, the CPU is not going to help you. It's more your GPU limited at that point. And so if you, okay, let's just start with it. So first scenario, you're doing a brand new build, right? I would absolutely say go with Intel right now. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while before AMD comes out with the Zen 4. There's some ramblings and stuff about the actual new Vcache refresh chips that they're going to come out with, but we don't know when that's going to come out. And obviously, if you're doing a build right now, you're probably not going to wait till next year for that type of stuff to come out. But there's one caveat. If price is an issue, you may want to stick with AMD. And here's the reason why. We're going to look at three things real quick. So if you can find one, the 12900K is $649. This is on Newegg. It's sold out right now. If you have some micro centers in your area, you might be able to look up. I've been seeing some people look up what micro centers in the area. The top of the line CPU for AMD is the 5950X, and it's actually $100 more. Some places it was like $700, but for the most part, the MSRP is $750, and so it's $100 more. But you may be able to find a cheaper motherboard, for AMD. But if we took a look at motherboards, now you could pick different motherboards. They pretty much range from 300 to 469. If it's one thing that I've learned, if you want to get this new chip here, the 12900K, the 12700K, or the 12600K, you have to get a Z690 board. One thing I've learned a long time ago is you have to do not skip on your motherboard, which means you need to, I'm not saying go spend $469, but their motherboard, the Z690 boards, the good ones, they're pricey. The good ones are probably about $400. I am not kidding. So $649, $400. This one is $469. Well, let's just say you spend $400. So that's already $1,050, right? But wait. There's more. These boards, they have some boards that support Ddr4 and Ddr5. I wouldn't get those boards. I would just get the board that supports the Ddr5. And Corsair Dominator Platinum RAM. This is 32 gigabytes. It's two 16 gigabyte sticks. 5200 megahertz or mega transfers per second, whatever you want to call it. The timing on the new Ddr5 memory is very high. So this is like 38, 84. The lowest I've heard was maybe 36. But this is $329, which is a lot. There's like the new Ddr5 RAM. I did a video on that. You could definitely check that at the top right-hand corner. Difference between Ddr4 and Ddr5. But if you're getting this board, then I would go with Ddr5 because if you're doing anything that has to deal with any type of productivity, I've seen where having Ddr5 actually gives you a big boost when it comes to those type of things. In gaming, not really so much, maybe 5 to 8% on gaming. In some games, not every game, but definitely. I would just go with Ddr5 memory. So that's $300. So you're talking about $1,400 to $1,500 just for the CPU, RAM, motherboard. So if you're getting, if you're building brand new, just know right offhand, those three things are going to cost you about $1,400, $1,500. That doesn't include the GPU, which those are hard to find right now. Which, so minimum maybe $800 to $1,000, depending on what you're looking for a mid-range GPU. And mid-range, I'm talking about like a 3070 Ti. If you could be able to get, something at MSRP for NVIDIA, best luck is probably Best Buy. Usually, you could get you a 3080 for $699 MSRP, the Founders Edition. But that's a whole nother different story when it comes to GPUs. But just know, so easily you spending probably maybe between $3,000 and $4,000 on doing a high-end build right now. That's just where we are. But so just keep that in mind. If you're doing a high-end brand new build, what would I build right now? Intel system all day. Now, if you already have a system, if you're on Intel already and you were going from 10th gen or 11th gen and you want that boost, as a PC enthusiast, if I had a 10th gen or 11th gen CPU for Intel, I would still upgrade because I've seen some major major performance increases from those chips. I know now some people say, hey, if you got a 10th gen or 11th gen, you're still doing good with gaming. Yeah, you are. But do you need to upgrade? No, those still do great with gaming, all the different type of stuff. But the PC enthusiast in me, I do content creation stuff like that too. So I would actually upgrade. But if I were you, I would stick with what you got, and if you need to upgrade anything, it'll probably be a GPU. But if you already have the latest and the greatest, you pretty much should just kind of stick with what you got, hold out, for a while. But anything below a 10th gen, then definitely upgrade. Now, if you upgrade though, you still got to do the three things: the motherboard, CPU, and RAM. So minimum $1,000 to $1,500. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Last but not least, now what if you're on AMD like myself? So I'm gonna give you an example. If you haven't seen this channel before, you hit my channel for the first time, the current system that I have right now, like what's in my system right now, AMD 5800X 5000 series. Love that CPU. I have a X570 Aorus master board, which I absolutely love. I have a RTX 3080 Ti Asus ROG Strix version. I have 2 NVMe drives. One is a Gen 4 Aorus drive. The other one is a SN750 PCI 3.0 drive. Ddr4 32 gigabytes, 3600 megahertz CL16 memory. Everything else will be down in the description below. That's the important stuff. So I'm on an AMD platform right now. I have considered switching over. But after seeing some of the numbers from a gaming standpoint, I'm good. Like I game at 1440p, mostly 4K. And so the CPU, changing out the CPU for me is not going to make a big deal when it comes to that. The biggest thing I'm looking at is productivity. And I actually, because of the 12900K being released and coming out, it should bring down the price of the 5950X. And 5950X, let me just, let's just do this right here. 5950X, which I could freely buy right now, but it's still $749, which is $100 more than the 12900K, right? But I can actually give my system a complete boost when it comes to productivity just by upgrading my CPU, which is only $749. And I can take my 5800X, either put it in another system, or I could sell it probably for a pretty good price right now. But I can either upgrade my current system $749 and still get close to the productivity of a 12900K. I can get close, it doesn't beat it, but for the most part, I can get that. Or I can spend $1,500 and switch over to Intel, because that means I have to get CPU, motherboard, Ddr5 RAM. And so which one makes more sense? Obviously, to just upgrade my CPU for me. And if you have a 5000 series CPU, you just got to weigh your options whether or not, hey, Intel is doing it right now. I don't know if it's worth spending an extra $1,000+ for making the switch just to get that much more in performance and that much more in gaming. And so, yeah, so you got the 3 different scenarios. You figured it out, right? So if you're doing a brand new build right now, like you start from scratch, go Intel. If you are, if you're already on Intel, but you have, if you have anything less than a 10700K, I would probably look into upgrading, basically. Just know the things that you got to upgrade: CPU, motherboard, RAM. It's probably gonna cost you a little bit over $1,000. And if you are on AMD, if you have, the thing about AMD is you're still gonna be switching out your CPU, RAM, and motherboard. Then you just gotta weigh your option on whether or not it's gonna be worth doing that. But if you have anything below a 5,000 series, I would probably look into maybe upgrading or switching. But if you have a 5,000 series already, keep what you got. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Just want to do a quick video about this. There's been a lot of talk about this stuff that's going around. A lot of reviews on the 12900K, a lot of reviews on the 12600K. The 12600K is a beast. I'm not gonna lie. That thing has a total of like 10 cores. It's 6 core, but it has 4 efficiency cores, so it has 10 cores. And so, yeah, it's a lot that goes into Windows 11 and the new scheduler that they have. But basically, it allows you to be able to use the efficiency cores and P cores, and it throws, different things in different directions on to make the system more efficient. But also, if they get the coding right, I mean, I could just imagine, what could happen, again, with productivity apps and stuff like that, video editing and coding, where they could really, if they tune it right, it could be, it's already a beast in certain areas, but it could really be something else. So definitely looking forward to seeing more about that. But I think the actual king of the hill is actually going to be that 10700K, not the 12700K. There haven't been too many talks about it, but from what I've been seeing, it gets real close to a 12900K for less pricing. So matter of fact, the 12700K is how much? 12700K is $449. Man, if I was you and I was doing a brand new build right now, I would probably get a 12700K. Save yourself some money. Save $200, put that towards the motherboard, GPU, or RAM. And because I've seen some numbers, go check it out now. Go check it out. I've seen some numbers. 12700K is getting real close to a 12900K and still beating the 5900X. Yep, I said it. It sure is. So check it out. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Definitely going to do some more content on the CPUs and all this good stuff. Yes, sir. Definitely, if you want to see more content like this, make sure that you hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you receive all my notifications. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.